introduction for you guys. Our new VP of Business Development, Tommy Moore.
Hey guys, it's Tommy with NPR Title with Tommy Talks Title Tuesday. Let's get into this.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Very first podcast, and I'm just a little bit nervous, but we're just gonna be ourselves. So today is Tommy Talks Title Tuesday, and usually I would do like my little 90-second, 30, well, I don't know how many seconds I do it, but anywhere from 30 to 90-second blurb on Instagram. But we are going live on YouTube. People have asked, and I am going to deliver. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about navigating forbearance moratoriums and default litigation in real estate. I know it's a typo. Don't charge it to my mind. Charge it to me being an amateur. But hey, we're going to get it right. But we have a special guest with us, Tamika Smith. She is a realtor with EXP. My girl, we've had several conversations about the real estate industry. We had several conversations about our experiences. And so I wanted her to be my very first guest on Tommy Talks Title Tuesday on YouTube. All right, so this podcast we will discuss the impact of the forbearance moratoriums and default litigation in the real estate industry. Our guest will share her knowledge and experience in navigating the complex landscape of foreclosures and default litigation. We will also delve into the effects of COVID-19 on the housing market and what it means for both homeowners facing the possibility of default. And although this is a very sensitive subject, we believe that this podcast will definitely add value and insight and help provide some strategies for dealing with these critical issues. So I'm going to bring to the stage Tamika. Hold on, let me bring you up. There you go. Hey, Tamika.
Hey.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey. All right. So we're just going to have a general conversation. So don't get nervous because I'm nervous and we both can't be nervous on here. But we're just going to provide some insights to the people. So what I'd like for you to do is introduce yourself, tell us about your background. I mean, I have your whole bio here. And girl, I know you have the knowledge. So we just going to just have a candid conversation. So tell us about yourself, Tamika. All right.
Okay.
Froze right on the top. Just go ahead.
I know I'm having issues over here.
It's okay. I can edit it.
Okay. So I started out in the mortgage industry in 2005. I actually started in default working for a bankruptcy firm. From there, I went over to Chase and I worked in the default loss mitigation area. I was doing also, setting clients up on forbearance agreements, and also modification. From there, I done that, and then I also went over to Origin, stayed there probably about maybe 2 or 3 years, and then I decided to get to real estate. So, I was actually in default in 2008, 2009, 2010, doing that big mortgage crash. And I was able to learn like a lot about default and how default works and how to help homeowners, get them to stay in their home.
So. Right. Well, similarly, I don't typically name the bank that I work for, but I work for two of them, which was Bank of America. And that was in 2010, 2011, 2012. And then I worked for Caliber Home Loans, and I was a default litigation specialist. And so you saw it on that end to help them. I was actually there to take their home away from them. And so that's how I got introduced into real estate and mortgage and understanding loan packages and just being able to communicate that information. And I'm sure you can attest to the same thing about it being a very challenging time. And as forbearance moratoriums begin to expire, people are going to start facing the same thing if they're not already going through it. I know at NPR Title, we've got clients that have sellers who are selling their homes that are filing bankruptcy. The forbearance moratoriums, they're being lifted at different times. So you don't know when it's going to happen. So I wanted to bring you on because of your experiences, and just so we can just enlighten not only homeowners or real estate agents on what they can do to better leverage not only their knowledge and their skills, but just to be able to help people when they're trying to figure out what to do during this market. So I know you took some notes, and and I got a few things written out. But let's just talk. Let's just reminisce. Let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
When was your first role, and what were you doing there?
Cutting out.
I'm cutting out too.
Say it again, because you cut out.
I said, what was your first role, and what did you do in default?
In default, I was a loss mitigation specialist. So my role there was to talk to the clients, set them up on really listen to their situation and decide what was the best outcome for them. So would that be either a forbearance agreement, or maybe you can try to get the refinance through a loan modification, short sale. The last resort, absolute last resort, is always going to be foreclosure and bankruptcy. You want to try to get buyers to exhaust all efforts before we just make the final decision on that. So, yeah.
Right. And so typically, just here at NPR Title, one thing that I try to let agents know, because they're I hear, a lot of comments about, well, they're really uncertain about what to do. Their business is slow. And then I asked them, so, well, what are you doing for your marketing efforts? Because you don't know what somebody might be facing. They might be facing foreclosure. They may have to go out door knocking and, leaving signs to say, hey, is your forbearance moratorium about to expire? Give me a call so we can have those conversations. The fact, Tamika, that you've had that experience, I know for certain that it would, even if it was me that was facing that situation, I would feel comfortable talking to you. Now, definitely we can provide some resources for counselors that can provide, a deeper dive and, to be able to look at their individual situations. But you as a realtor, you're out here every single day, your background experiences, it would definitely provide some comfort to a homeowner that may be about to lose their home.
Correct. So, as far as marketing goes, I do think that, the market is really changing. So, successful agent, you do have to know how to shift, and how to still get your clients to feel hopeful about their situation, no matter what the economy is. I would say, even, just this is a good platform for us to be able to talk to people and let them know that, everybody is not, we understand that everybody is not in a great place in this market.
Right.
We understand we get it, and we are here to help. So, my thing is, I just let people know, I get where we are. I get where you are. You are not the only person that is in this situation. And there are other alternatives to, last resort. I don't tell people necessarily hey, just go ahead and sell the house, because that may not be the best option for them. Because if they do sell and they've been behind on payments, then 9 times out of 10, the credit is not good. So where are you going to go? Are you okay with renting? Are you not okay with renting? Do you absolutely have to stay here? If you do, we need to go through all of these efforts to get you to stay in your home. And again, I also tell people too, because just because I know, the ins and lending, because for lenders, I'm not a loan officer, but I will get you to one.
Right.
I do know the process, but I am not a loan officer. So yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's really important to just know their options. Obviously, let's see, because I just Googled understanding forbearance during COVID-19, right? Now, obviously, this is something that a lot of homeowners took advantage of during COVID-19. And some of them were like anywhere from 6 months to 18 months. But when their last extension expired, they had an option to extend it, but all of that is over now. And so at this point, I believe like their options are to pay their balance in full. Like, they have those options that are there. And if people did not have the funds and the resources to pay it during COVID, 9 times out of 10, they don't have those resources to pay those balances in full today. And like you said, like, we don't want to be out here suggesting that, oh, well, you should just go ahead and sell your house. But, being someone, like yourself, Tamika, that understands, the market, understands like the background of it, you're able to have like a clear conversation, with someone that would be like, you know what, I trust your advice on this. I'm going to let you be my realtor. I'm going to let you list my house, because maybe this is the only option for my family and I. But it's having those uncomfortable conversations. I was telling an agent just last week, we're about to be, obviously we're about to be at the end of this first quarter. And it's been a little bit shaky in this market first quarter, coming out of the fourth quarter, like, because we saw it. I mean, things are starting to pick up, but going into second quarter, income tax season, there's a whole lot of things that are taking place. But, families may be able to do something different. And so now is actually the time to start reaching out to people to see, hey, can I help you? Is there any word of advice I can, give to you? Like, what can I do to help?
Exactly. Part, I always tell buyers, talk to your lender. Let them know, because a lot of people, when they're behind on payments and they have this big lump sum after, the forbearance is about to be over, they avoid it until they figure out what to do. So reach out to your lender. Like, most of all lenders have these options: the forbearance, the short sale, they have the refinances, they have the loan modifications. Reach out to your lender and let them know, so that because at the end of the day, it costs them more to foreclose on it.
It does.
So why not just reach out to them and see what you can do. And then, if you don't have if you are out of all options, then, selling should be your very last resort, or foreclosure, definitely, because it hurts your credit tremendously. So,
Right. I remember when I was working for Bank of America, 2010, default litigation, so really we don't want to go to court. We would rather say, do a loan modification. Obviously, there are concerns now about the interest rates are higher. People don't have any, they're either upside down, like whatever their issue is, whatever their circumstance is, there are lots of concerns. Interest rates, they're going to always go up and down. So you never know what you're going to get into. But some folks that took out second mortgages, like they've got lots of different issues that they're facing. But going back to 2010, when I started working at Bank of America in default litigation, that was one of the things that we really tried to do, is to settle. And the biggest concern was always when I would get to court to represent the bank and the borrower did nothing until the day we got to court. And then they were like, well, what do I do? Well, at this point, it's too late, because you had, however many months, and especially, so Texas is a non-judicial state. In judicial states, and I believe I got that right, like Florida.
No, it's
Florida,
right.
it would take them like months to foreclose on those homes. I mean, months and like really like almost like years. And even in New York, it would take them years to foreclose on those properties. Well, in Texas, you got 30 days. And it's bad. Like first Tuesday of each month, you know, you get your notice and, you know, you got to do something. So that's why like it's best to talk to somebody and not wait until the last minute, because they're not going to give you any grace at all. What do you think, Tamika?
Nope.
Yeah.
I would most definitely say that you need to reach out and speak with somebody. Again, Texas Tuesday does happen every month, and just to be able to talk to somebody just to ease your frustrations, just to make you feel like there are options. Some people just don't believe that there are, you know, and they would rather just let it go than to, I mean, it's going to be harder after you let it go than the process of trying to hold on to it, to me, to be honest, you know, hold on to the house. So, most definitely reach out to someone. Like, even if you have a lender that you use outside of the lending that you're using for your mortgage, you know, if you have a lender that you use for auto loans, reach out to them, you know, and just let them know what this is so that they can let you know what that lender has available to you as well. But there's also another program that's offered by the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs, and they are giving out grants. I think it's up to $65,000. I wrote it down, $65,000. And 25,000 can be used for property taxes, insurance, HOA, condos, and then you can also use up to 10,000 for utility assistance.
Oh, wow.
So that's another great alternative for people who are, you know, coming up on these forbearance agreements and they need to make these payments really quick and they don't have the money to make those payments. So
I love it, girl. Like, come on with the gems. Come on with the gems. Because I mean, you know, what was that? I get on TikTok every now and then. It's one of my guilty pleasures. And I try to be very I try to be careful with, you know, responding or commenting on things because people will come after you. They will come after you. You click on their profile and it's they don't even have pictures posted. So you're like about to argue with somebody that doesn't have a profile up. But I said it to say, I made a comment on something and a lady like came for me and she was like, why didn't you just Google it? Like, well, that would seem like, you know, the best course of action is to Google your problems. But when you're in the midst of your problem, you really want a solution. And so we have to be, as, you know, title experts, as real estate agents, we have to be solutions experts that can provide that information on the fly. And even if you don't have that information, connect with somebody who does that information. Like having this relationship with you, Tamika, knowing that I know your background, I can always reach out to you and say, hey, I met somebody who has questions. They're thinking about selling their home, but this is the situation that they're in. Their forbearance moratorium is about to expire. Do you have any advice that you can give them? And there it is. You know, there's a referral. Now, it's up to, you know, that homeowner to decide what they want to do, how they want to move forward. But the fact that you even know, you know what resources are out there, you've worked in the field, you know, no shade, but a lot of people don't have the experiences that we have. And because they don't have that experience, you know, they don't know what to say when they, you know, are approached by a client that are facing forbearance moratorium or any type of financial issues dealing with, you know, buying or even selling a home. So what advice could you give a realtor for them to be able to at least, you know, get the cliff notes on how to help them navigate during this market?
Do your research. Like, no one's going to be a good agent without doing their research. I mean, we have plenty of different scenarios in any real estate transaction, but connect with people in your brokerage that have the experience in these type of situations. I will also speak on my organization, the Breadwinners. And we have so many trainings on so many different things. So I would also tell agents like to be mindful of the organizations that you choose to connect yourself to, because the organizations are going to, the more you know and the more that organization can provide you as far as education goes, the better agent you're going to be. So yeah, I would most definitely say like connections, like network with different people. Like had I not connected with you, I would not have known that you knew what you knew about default. And here we are on this podcast.
Right.
So just, connect with people. Don't be afraid to just step out and let people see what you know, and then they get to tell you what they know, and it just all connect. So yeah,
absolutely. That's really good advice. One thing, I was featured on a podcast last week with Prime Real Estate Network. They're based out of Houston, and one of the owners of the organization, Rick, he was like, I did my research on you. I was all on LinkedIn. I was here, I was there. And he was like, you're like a wealth of knowledge. And I was like, yeah, I would like to think that I am. I mean, I've only been in title for a year and 2 months now, but it goes deeper than that. Yes, I'm business development, but I'm here to provide resources, and if I don't know it, I know somebody that knows it. And, and all of my connections are very intentional because it's about helping each other grow our businesses. I have a true passion. I actually had started a business 2017, 2018 actually, and it was a national notary service, but it was built on the backs of me seeing default litigation documents where the notary, didn't even bother to know if the borrowers could read. Just something as simple as that. They couldn't even read. Like I remember going to a deposition, and it was an elderly African-American couple. I want to say that she was like 89 and he might have been like 96. And he had zero education and she had a 3rd grade education. And I was like, so how did you know what you were signing? And then they didn't even know that they had an interest-only loan, like little things like that. So my passion, stems from, okay, so even like when I'm acting as a closer at the title office, if it's somebody that speaks Spanish, I want to know, do you understand, what's being communicated to you if there's an interpreter present? And they're like, oh yeah, we understand English, but he's just communicating it better. I'm like, okay. And Jerry always applauds me for that. I was like, they're elderly, especially, and they're first-time home buyers. And if they don't, their first language is not English, I take my time because I want them to know what they're signing, because I saw it time and time again. They brought their life savings to America, and then their homes were taken from them because they didn't know what they were reading. But with all of the experience that I have, I like to share that information with realtors. When you are partnering with anybody, a real estate agent, partnering with a title company, partnering with a lender, you want to know that they're adding value to you and your business and your organization. So like Tamika, like the fact that, that I know your background, when I talk about you, I talk about your experience. I don't just say, oh, I got a realtor friend that, it's with EXP. No, I'm going to talk about your experience. And then when my lender partners, I do the same thing. I talk about their products and services. And it's because I like to get education on it so I can make sure I'm providing, the best value to that realtor, especially if they're working with clients that are, that have a special need. So this was really good, Tamika. Do you want to have any final thoughts, any final words? Because we keep going on and on and on. But just like I said, just wanted to just have a candid conversation. And if folks if they want to reach out to you, they want to reach out to me. If we need to do a class to teach folks on stuff, we can do all of that too. you have anything else to say?
I'm definitely down for a class. Just want to give my information. You can follow me on IG at Tamika Sales DFW. I'm also on TikTok as Tamika Sales DFW. And I am starting a YouTube channel. I haven't quite gotten things together yet, but I know we'll get together on other occasions. So I'll share that information with the people as well.
Is that correct? Tamika Sales DFW?
That is correct. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right,
That's it.
girl. All right. Well, I really appreciate you joining me on my first episode, Tommy Talks Title, the podcast.
I appreciate you for teaching me.
Oh my gosh.
Me.
You so funny. You know, you my girl. We ran into each other several times at different events, and you know, you come out to support, and you know, I'm here to support you as well. So anything that I can do to help you, you just, you know my number.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Tommy.
Thank you. So just hold on for me just a second, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank y'all so much for joining Tamika and I today. All right, this is our first title talk. Oh, Lord have mercy. It's our first title talk, and I really feel like some gems were dropped. Tamika has a wealth of knowledge, and we were speaking earlier today about just the experiences of different realtors. So if you are a homeowner looking at this podcast and you want to reach out to Tamika for some help, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll drop my my email address, and I will be sure to connect the two of you. Because she provided some very valuable information. And even if it's just for informational purposes, reach out to her, because there's nothing like having someone who is knowledgeable about the current state of the market. And yeah, we just got to make sure that we're sticking together. Tamika, what's your email address again? Just text it to me. Yeah, we just make sure that we're sticking together and providing all the resources that we can. All right. You text it to me? I'll bring you back up here. Hold on.
Okay, it's Tamika, TAMIKA.Smith at exprealty.com.
All right. All right. Well, we got you.
All righty.
All right. Well, thanks so much, folks, for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video. We will come to you each week with a brand new video on Tuesday. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or if you want to be featured on this podcast and or be a sponsor, please let us know. All right. Thanks for joining us. Until next week. See you in the closing room.